never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing, go out of this world and right on time. Oh, never in my life have I seen the sky light up like this. I'm far away from Earth and I wanna know if you exist. Mission control, do you read me? Send me my coordinates lately. Mission control, am I drifting? Tie me to someone who will love me, yeah. Wait, I think I'll last a bit longer. Find another.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. First, I want to apologize because I know and I realize that yesterday was the first time since I started the channel, which coming up in March will be, I believe, 3 years, but maybe it's 2 years. But anyway, it's the first time since the channel started that I did not do a weekly Wednesday top 10 countdown. And I also did not do a video on Tuesday. My apologies, that was not the plan. I had every intention of doing a video Tuesday and doing a top 10 countdown yesterday, just like I have done one every other Wednesday. But for some reason, on Sunday night and Monday night, I did not sleep good at all. And Monday night, probably right around the time Monday Night Raw came on, I started coughing real bad, and my nose started running real bad, and my voice was going in and out and getting scratchy, and I thought, well, I'm not going to do a video tomorrow because what if I start doing it and my voice goes out? And it was kind of the same way yesterday. I didn't want to do a video with my voice going in and out and my nose running like crazy. I said I'll wait. So I apologize for no video yesterday or Tuesday. And because yesterday was supposed to be our weekly Wednesday top 10 countdown, I'm going to do the top 10 countdown that I was going to do yesterday today. And I'm doing it because NASCAR season is less than a month away, because the Clash in California is coming up on February the 4th, which is less than a month away. And of course, 2 weeks after that is the Daytona 500. I think everybody knows by now that I'm a huge NASCAR fan. This is the top 10 all-time best NASCAR Cup Series drivers according to me. And I think everybody knows by now that in all the sports and the wrestling that I do, I try my best to look at it from a just fan perspective and not show favoritism towards my wrestlers or my drivers or my teams. I try to give honest opinions all the time, and I do that because, for one, to me, it lets everybody know that my opinions are based on how I really feel and not how I really feel because my team's involved or my driver's involved. But also because I'm the type of person to where if I feel like my team's going to lose, I ain't got a problem saying it. You know, I never get so emotionally invested in anything that If my team loses, it ruins my day, ruins my week. I never have, never will. Sports are fun, but life goes on. The sun is still going to shine the next day, whether your team wins or loses. So I don't get so emotionally invested to where if my team loses, it just eats me alive. I just don't care. So, with that being said, these top 10 best drivers of all time is based on how I really feel, has nothing to do with who my favorite was or who my favorite is. It's just how I feel based on what these drivers done or have done throughout their career. And I say that because there's one driver on this list that is still currently racing full time, and there's one driver on this list that is still racing part time. So their stats could change before their career is officially over with, but all the rest of these drivers have retired. So without further ado, it's the top 10 all-time best NASCAR drivers according to me. And if you're a NASCAR fan, you're going to know who all these drivers are. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you all their stats. All I'm going to do is tell you how many championships they've won and how many races they've won. But you can easily get on any kind of NASCAR website and find each driver and find out how many laps they led, how many poles they won, how many top 5s they had, how many top 10s they had. But I'm not going to do all that. The important stuff is how many championships did you win and how many races did you win. Number 10, Bobby Allison. He was the 1983 NASCAR Cup champion, and he won 84 career races. Number 9 is a guy that's still involved in the sport through ownership, but no longer races, and that is Tony Stewart. He won 49 career races as a driver and 3 championships, and he's won 1 championship since he retired as an owner when Kevin Harvick won the championship. He is half owner of that team. Tony would have won more races, but we got to remember he started out in IndyCar, so no telling how many times he would have won had he been in NASCAR for a longer period of time, but we'll never know. Number 8 is the guy that's still driving full time. He'll be 39 years old in May. He has so far won 2 Cup Series championships and 63 races. That is Kyle Busch. And I've mentioned it before here on the channel that, Kyle Busch, for whatever reason, maybe it was the wife, maybe it's the kids, I don't know. But, if you used to watch NASCAR and you've stopped, you may not know this, or if you're new to NASCAR and didn't watch it when Kyle first started, the Kyle Busch you see today is not the Kyle Busch that broke into NASCAR 20 years ago. He used to be an arrogant, cocky, egotistical jerk. Not anymore. As a matter of fact, a couple of weeks ago, I was watching a NASCAR season preview, and they had a guy that interviewed Kyle Busch, and they played the interview, and it was over. They went back to the studio, and everybody in the studio was like, we miss the aggressive Kyle Busch. We need the edge that Kyle Busch used to have, because he used to be aggressive. He's not now, so he doesn't win near as much as he used to, because used to, he was aggressive, and he would do whatever it took to win the race. Now, he doesn't do that. If he's up front, he'll win, but if he's in 5th or 6th, he'll settle for 5th or 6th. 10 years ago, he wouldn't do that. At one time, he was on pace to win 100 career races. He won't get there now. It's not because he lost his talent. It's because he lost his edge. He's just not aggressive anymore. But if this was a top 10 countdown on the best all-time NASCAR racer from all 3 major series combined, Kyle Busch would be number 1. Because Kyle Busch has won the most races ever in NASCAR, counting the Truck Series, the Xfinity Series, and the Cup Series. And he'll add to that total because he's got, I guess, 6 or 7 years left to go. But since it's just in the Cup Series, he's number 8. Number 7 is the guy that just recently passed away, Cale Yarborough. He won 83 career races and 3 championships. And up until Jimmie Johnson accomplished that feat, Cale Yarborough was the only driver ever to win 3 consecutive championships, because he won all 3 of his back-to-back years. I believe it was 76, 77, and 78 when he accomplished that feat, but I might be wrong. That's just going by memorization, but I think it was 76, 77, and 78. Number 6 is a guy that also won 3 championships, but Cale Yarborough won 83 times. This guy won 84 times, and that is Darrell Waltrip. And before we talk about the top 5, let's recap numbers 10 through 6. Number 10, Bobby Allison, Tony Stewart, Kyle Busch, Cale Yarborough, and Darrell Waltrip. And this is the top 10 all-time best NASCAR Cup Series drivers, in my opinion. Number 5, another guy that also won 3 championships, but he had 105 career wins, one of only 2 drivers ever in the Cup Series to win more than 100 races. That is David Pearson. Number 4, the guy that won 7 championships, 83 career wins so far. He's still racing part-time, so he does have a chance to win 1 or 2 more times. I don't think he will, though, but that is Jimmie Johnson. Number 3, a guy that won 4 championships and won 93 career races, and that was Jeff Gordon. Of course, he's now pretty much running the Hendrick organization, even though it's still called Hendrick. And I feel like one day when Rick Hendrick either passes away or officially retires, Jeff Gordon will 100% run that organization. Number 2, the next guy that won 7 championships, and he won 76 career races, Dale Earnhardt, and the best driver ever, not only according to me, but I think according to most unbiased NASCAR fans, Richard Petty. He also, just like Jimmie Johnson and Dale Earnhardt, won 7 championships, but he won 200 times. So you could take Jimmie Johnson's career wins and add it to Dale Earnhardt's career wins, and you still wouldn't equal the amount of wins Richard Petty had. And the reason why I say unbiased is because, obviously, if you talk to Jimmie Johnson fans, they're going to tell you he's the best ever because they're Jimmie Johnson fans. If you talk to Jeff Gordon fans, most of them are going to tell you he was the best because they're Jeff Gordon fans. If you talk to Dale Earnhardt fans, they're going to tell you he's the best because they're Dale Earnhardt fans. And obviously, if you talk to Richard Petty fans, they're going to say he's the best because they're fans of his. So you're going to have to find fans that either don't like any of those drivers and like somebody else, or they're like me, they can give honest opinions whether they like you or not, or they're just NASCAR fans in general and they're new to the sport, so they really don't have any certain driver. They're just breaking into the sport and learning, and they can go back and watch, videos and films of all these drivers. But I don't think you can compare 200 wins with anything else. The only driver that has more than that is, like I said a while ago, Kyle Busch, because he has over 100 wins in the Xfinity Series and around 60 wins in the Truck Series. So he has more than 200, but that's counting all 3 series. Richard Petty won 200 times in just the Cup Series. And there's been a long long over the years conversation in NASCAR is, what means more? Is it winning races or is it winning championships? And they actually, I guess it's been late 90s, early 2000s, actually asked some of the drivers that were driving back then, you know, what do you appreciate more, winning a race or winning a championship? And almost every single one of the drivers said, oh, it's winning races. Because if you win races, that means you are the best driver out there on that day. You beat 42 other cars that day. Championships are good, but it's possible to win a championship and not win a race. Now, it's never been done. There have been times over the years, a few times, where drivers have won the championship and only won one or two races. But Ryan Newman got close the year Kevin Harvick won the championship. Ryan Newman did not win a race that year, and he finished in second place behind Harvick. And had Harvick not have won the final race of the year to win the championship, Newman would have won the title without winning a race. So he's the closest to have ever done it, but it is possible because it's all about consistency. So I think if the drivers themselves say that winning races means more than winning championships, then I'm going to say I'm going to put more stock in winning races. And winning 200 times, nobody's ever came close. David Pearson is the closest with 105, so he's barely halfway there. But now Kyle Busch could get higher on this list by winning another championship and winning some more races. But it's 2024. He's not done yet, so as of right now, he's number 8. There are a few drivers that are still racing today that could end up being on this list, and I don't know how you get there. I don't know who you knock off because everybody on this list has great accomplishments. But Kyle Larson wins a lot. If he can keep winning like he's winning now and win one more championship, I could see him getting on there. Joey Logano's only 33 years old. He'll be 34 this summer. So he's got at least 10 years left. He's already won 2 championships. If he wins 1 or 2 more titles, it's going to be hard not to include him. And then Denny Hamlin is only off the list because he's never came close to winning a championship. The difference between Denny Hamlin and Mark Martin, if you go back and watch old NASCAR, Mark Martin actually won 2 championships. And both times he won the championship, he supposedly, after the final race of the season, got penalized for cheating, and they took just enough points away from him to where he wouldn't win the championship. And it's just awfully fishy to me that Mark Martin races for 30 years, and the only 2 times you're ever going to penalize him just happens to be the 2 times he wins the championship. They did that because one time he beat Dale Earnhardt, and one time he beat Tony Stewart. So, of course, they're going to give the title to the more popular driver. Had Mark Martin won it over Ricky Rudd or over Sterling Marlin, he would have won those championships. Denny's never got that close. Denny Hamlin wins a lot of races. He's won Daytona 500 multiple times, and there are great drivers that can't say that. He can. And now that they have the chase for the Cup, he makes the playoffs every year, but he never is an actual threat to win it. He makes it, he gets in, but all the NASCAR fans know, well, Denny made it, but he ain't going to win it because he always buckles under pressure. But if he could somehow, some way get one championship, you could include him. But I personally still wouldn't, but I'm sure there's some that would. But if he could get one, you could talk about it, but not until then. But of course, he's 43 years old now, so his chances of winning a championship are getting slimmer and slimmer every year. Any thoughts on this, please feel free to let me know. Homes for Our Troops is a publicly funded 501c nonprofit organization that builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans. Since the 2004 inception, nearly 90 cents of every dollar spent has gone directly to our program services for veterans. Visit at hfour.org OTUSA.org. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. Did you know if you spell the words absolutely nothing backwards, you get Janitin Yili Tulosba, which ironically means absolutely nothing. And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.